Alright people, welcome back. Episode 3 of Map Making with Sparks. Yeah, this is my handiwork. I'm not a builder. I'm not sure how I feel about this room at all. This is the starting room, the map selection room for the server. When people join the server for the first time, they will be teleported to this room, and there are maps, links to the map atriums on the side here. I have 4 people developing maps for me, which is awesome. Please leave feedback about this area, because, as I said, I'm not a builder, and I think I may have gone a little bit over the top. I'm not sure. Nick Vegas, I have to thank for this. This map is now on a server, and he came on and he gave me a hand. We were umming and ahhing together about this building, this area, because I'm really bad at this kind of stuff. I do like the ice. There's jungle blocks, jungle leaves behind, which gives it this sort of chiseled effect, which is pretty cool. My favourite feature, because being a redstone-y person, I had to incorporate something silly and redstone-y. If you're in adventure mode, as most players will be when they enter this room, apart from admins, I needed somewhere to put an admin panel, so that's on the upper ring here, and I didn't want people in adventure mode to be able to get up, and normally you avoid that by simply not having a way up, but I added a clock, a detector, player detector to the waterfall, and if you're in adventure mode and try to climb the waterfall, it shuts it off before you can get up, which I thought was kind of unnecessary but funny. If you are in any other game mode, as an admin, you will be able to fly up here, and the waterfall is not turned off. Now, the admin panel, I should actually say what we're going to do this episode. This episode is going to be focused on greeting players to the map, welcoming them to the map, and moving them around a little bit. So, the admin panel I'm just going to describe quickly, because it's not a huge feature of today's episode, but there are a couple of settings in this map which require clocks that aren't necessary. They're decorative or helpful. So I want a way to turn those off if the map owner wants that. Rogue player detection is one. This is designed for instances where the map is on a server where people don't all know each other and you want to make sure nobody cheats. But it runs a clock, and if you are just playing with friends and you have a small server, you don't want the clock running. Same with this dynamic daylight. I'm not going to explain what these are exactly, those will be in later episodes, but I do want to show how I plan to turn these settings on and off. I'm going to use objectives. So this system here, basically, when you press the button, it toggles that redstone block into 2 different positions each time, and basically the top one here adds the rogue objective and the one underneath removes it, and every time you press that button it toggles between adding or removing the objective, which seems to work quite well. It also turns the light off so these will be on by default on the map, but if you have a laggy server and you want to reduce the lag as much as possible, they can be turned off. So that's what the admin panel up here is for. But we're going to look into welcoming people to this map and moving them to map atriums for team selection. So you choose the map first, then you choose your teams. This over here, this is original spawn, and I will quickly explain. I think I've seen this in several map making videos that I've watched. I think Seth Bling did a similar one with tripwires. I've used pressure plates though, since you can't actually, if you're in any game mode and you land here, there's a moment before you're teleported that you could technically break string, but pressure plates take too long to break. So that's the reasoning behind pressure plates and a bit more redstone as a downfall. They're all connected to this clock, which keeps rotating as long as the plates are down, so that if there's more than one player up there, it all works fine. And then these command blocks set a few game rules, just in case nobody's joined yet, and then teleports the player. Currently, they are teleported over here. This is the map development panel. I have 4 people currently building maps for me. We're not looking at those maps today, sorry, but we are focusing on moving people around. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change the teleporter block down here so that it moves them into the atrium and changes their game mode to adventure mode. Alright guys, here we go. This is our player movement. I decided to teleport them from there to here, and then from here up into the room, so that if there's anything we want to do with them extra later, we can do that. And also because one of the biggest problems I had when I was teleporting people for the test we did before this map project began was that more than one person would end up in one of these capsules at once. There's a pressure plate in here. They would stand on the pressure plate, and that would activate whatever redstone, and it would teleport the first person, but the second one would still be holding the plate down, so it would freeze, it would get stuck, and people would be stuffed. So I've now got a clock here, which will probably solve that problem. So if there's 2 people on there, it'll just take 2 clock cycles to get rid of them. This command block here teleports everyone, a random person within this radius of that teleporting point up into the room. So the fence post is there so that if there are people in there waiting to be moved, they can't punch each other and they can't punch the walls. Just a slight precaution. So if I just demonstrate by going over here, if I land anywhere on this plate, it teleports me into this room and then straight into here. Very good. My game mode has been updated to adventure mode. All that spam in the chat will not appear there in the final version of this map because I will have turned command block output messages off. And then if I'm an admin, I can change my game mode to creative and zoom around in here. My game mode will be set back to adventure mode for me when the game begins. Very good. So that's a good start. We can now successfully move players into this room. I'm thinking that it's a bit odd to have all the players that are teleporting into this room just clumped into one point. So I think I'm going to try and replace this single command block with a system that evenly distributes people that come into the map into this room. When a map ends, I'll be able to send people into this capsule as well. So it's sort of a redirect point, a joiner for all the different maps that moves them back into this room once the map has ended. So that's quite handy actually. Okay, well this seems to work pretty well. We've got this clock is now attached to this repeater array. Each of these 4 command blocks specify a different corner point in here, and whenever the clock is activated, the repeater that is locked continues on to the next one. So I can turn off the clock there, and you can see with each pulse it rotates round. So each player will be moved to a different point. If there are loads of them, they will be circularly distributed. I can show that by stepping on this over here, and we should be taken to a random location. It's a bit difficult to show that it's random. I hurt my head there. I should check that out. Okay, so good start. So I decided to replace the button with a lever because it makes the redstone quite a bit smaller. Which, I mean, in terms of visuals, you can just about see all that wiring from here if I make these walls out of glass, which I was planning to, whereas this one is just a little bit more hidden. I like the buttons, to be honest. I do like them, so I may keep this, but for now I'm going to switch them over to the much simpler system with the lever. Look at that. Does exactly the same job. Now, in my experience playing maps, there's 2 things that you need in a starting area like this. One is some rules and an explanation of how to play the game, and the other is something to keep people entertained. Now, I've slightly got that covered by this waterfall, but I do in fact have an optional parkour section. It's not complete, but this lever here causes a piston to raise a block here, and then you can parkour to your heart's content. You know, there won't be anything necessarily specific to aim towards with this, but it gives people something to do with their hands while they're waiting for the game. Shut up. So yeah, the game's starting. The other thing is the rules, and I'm realizing this is a slight problem. Any flat wall is taken up by the button leading to a map zone, an atrium, and any diagonal wall is kind of difficult to place signs on. So I could put a rule board here with 4 sides for people to read, but then the fountain becomes, the water stream becomes inaccessible. If this was at least 2 blocks high for the rules to be on, then it becomes a little bit unclear. Well, it becomes impossible to reach the water stream, which kind of spoils my fun. And I don't really know where to put the rules and the information. I fixed it. I think that looks alright. It's it keeps to the theme, but it's a bit of flat wall with sort of a bit of an instructional here. I still haven't thought of a name for this map. 2-team PvP map with 4 custom maps to play on. I recommend you play with teams of 4+, but less can work too. Admins can change map settings in the panel above, so that's a good starter point. And then the rules, I may change these signs later, but members of the light team may only walk on lit paths, and members of the dark team only on unlit. Do not leave the paths, do not break the lamps, capture all the nodes in a map for your team to win. Stand on a node for a few nodes to capture it, for a few seconds to capture it. So, the very basic, fundamental, underlying mechanic of the game, explained in under 9 signs. Oh baby. Okay, that looks okay there, I think. I might need a little bit more lighting, but I can't bring the lamps too close to the ice, so it'll do. I think that's a good start. It's got the rules in there without messing up the symmetry too much. It doesn't feel unsymmetrical from here. This place is probably looking a bit crazy from the outside. Yeah, I also moved the parkour piston. Parkour piston is now as close to that lever as possible. Just down here. I don't know what kind of cold-hearted admin would turn PvP off, but some OCD people might not like people climbing around on the walls for some reason. So yeah, that's just an option. Why not? Alright, so I have decided to have the atriums set out like so. This is, seriously, there's no decoration at all. It's just these clear blocks. Why not? Just to get the idea of how this is going to work, I've decided that Crazy Man's map is just over that way, I think. I decided to put these by the map rather than by the actual lobby, so that the map has time to load while people are choosing their teams. So you are in the map name atrium, and you can click this. It takes you back to the lobby. Fairly self-explanatory. There's 2 team selections, white and dark. Light and dark. I haven't actually given them the signs, but if you click on the white button, it will slowly kill you. I haven't actually fixed that yet, and make you join the lights team, and you'll be up in this balcony here for the light team. You can see dark team members over there, and there's a little message that tells you that you've joined the light team. Likewise, you can press this button and leave the light team, and very much the same thing happens for the dark team. So if I show you how that works, it's fairly simple. There's Crazy Man's map. It's in development at the moment. So if you join the light team, it takes you to this little box here, and first of all it makes you join the light team. Something I learned today was that you can only be in one team at once. So by joining the light, it automatically removes you from the dark team if you were in it, and after doing that it teleports you up to this box here, which gives a message saying you've joined the light team and moves you up to the light team balcony. For some reason I had to do that in 2 stages, not really sure why. The exact same happens for the dark team. Yeah, so that's basically how it works. There will have to be some sort of team ready switch here that both teams have to activate, which partially will make sure that both teams are happy and ready to go, and partially make sure that there is actually a person on each team rather than just one guy, which wouldn't make much sense. If we head back to the lobby a second, it takes me back like that. I go through that box I was talking about earlier. I have decided, I wasn't aiming this map to be playable by... I wasn't thinking that more than one group of teams could play this map at once. There's 4 maps. I thought it'd be one group of people playing. I think... I added walls up here, by the way. I think the way that this works, because there's a different lobby, a different atrium for each map, different team selection and everything. I think it will be possible for, say, 16 people to be on this map if your server could handle it, and 8 of them play one map, 8 play another. So I think I'm going to try and make it a admin option as to whether, say there was a game going on, whether another group of people could independently of that game play another game. But I'm not sure if that would work in terms of teams and stuff. So I'll have to think about it. But I think that'll do for this episode. I've put a lot of work into it off camera and stuff. So I think it's going well. If you can leave me feedback on this room in the comments, that'd be great. I'd like to know what people think of it. This is the room. I'm aware that this arch is different to all the others. Crazy Man changed it because it's his arch and I couldn't stop him. So yeah, feedback please on this room. How do you think it looks? Any changes you think I should make? Any other suggestions for where the rules should go, or does that seem good to you guys? Yep, thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.